Welcome back to Share the Pants. Today, we've got some potentially exciting Bachelorette news. According to TMZ, the season starring Taylor Frankie Paul is almost out of Hollywood jail. They're saying there's a chance that it's going to air this month. And there are also rumors that the editors never really stopped working on the season and are still working on it. So it sounds like we're actually going to get to watch this lost season. And I'm curious, how are we all feeling about that? Joel, are you excited to watch it? Not excited to watch it?
I'm definitely way less excited to watch it than any other season.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, we talked about it from the second she was announced.
Yeah. So let's do a little mini recap for those who don't watch the show or don't know what has happened. So Taylor Frankie Paul is a social media influencer. She got her big start with TikTok. And then Hulu gave her her own show called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which has been a show full of drama. And when ABC cast her, both of us were like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time, but ABC has a new showrunner. And, I just thought the casting choice was really off. And right before her season aired, like the night before, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the day before.
Yeah, a video was leaked from 2023. So from 2 years prior, she's had a court case, a domestic violence court case with her baby daddy, on again, off again, just a very toxic relationship. And pretty sure he leaked the video to TMZ.
I think it's basically been confirmed at this point.
Yeah. Of a drunken night where she found out he'd been cheating on her and she attacked him and he filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was really brutal to watch.
It was a horrific video.
Yeah. Especially because there was a child in the room who was screaming and crying and may have did get hit with a bar stool.
Yeah.
And so ABC made the decision to not air her season, like the day before.
Right.
And I was actually shocked that they made that decision because they cast her. They knew when they cast her, they knew of the court case.
Right.
They knew she doesn't have a sparkly, shiny past. Yeah. They knew.
This was 3 years ago. So
yeah,
this incident happened 3 years ago. It's all been settled and figured out.
And so now more court drama has happened. We'll get into all that. But now maybe we're going to get to see the season that they pulled.
Right.
So, yeah, it's hard. I'm really torn about, we're going to watch the season. I mean, that's just we're not taking a moral high ground on this one and saying you shouldn't watch this season. We're definitely going to watch it. But I do feel torn inside because half of me is I want to know what happened. And I think it was silly for ABC to pull a season that they cast, they paid for, and then at the last minute, they just did not have her back at all, is how I see it. But on the other hand, the romantic side of me, the one that really doesn't watch the show for the drama, we actually show up and watch the show for the love and for all the gooey feelings.
Right. That's the best part of the show for me. As someone that cries over the stupidest things.
The sweetest things.
You can confirm.
Yeah. I love it.
I doubt I'll shed a single tear during this season because I just know that none of it's real.
Right.
So,
there's not a happy ending.
We know now that before the season aired, the night before she went to the Bachelor Mansion, she slept with Dakota.
Yeah, that happened. We saw that, or I saw that on the Secret Wives of Mormon Lives show. They showed that storyline. And the cliffhanger to that show was basically her in the limo pulling up to the Bachelor Mansion, FaceTiming Dakota, and him saying, "Save a rose for me," as if maybe he might make an appearance.
Right.
On the show, on the Bachelorette show. Who knows if that happened? I don't think that happened at this point, but yeah, it's...
And it's always been topic about that show is that it's all fake, which isn't true. There is fake aspects to it, and there's editing, and they do what they do, producing to make drama where there's no drama, or love where there's no love, and moments where there's no moments. But there are plenty of couples that have come out of The Bachelor still married, still together.
Babies,
Yeah,
happy.
so it's not all fake, and there is real love on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so upsetting about this upcoming or past season, however you want to
look at it,
is that it's all fake, and not necessarily for the guys. There has to be in the back of the guys' heads, like they knew the shit show that they were coming in on, and how unstable she is, and that Dakota is still a part of her life, and she has not one, an ex-husband with 2 children, and also current on again, off again baby daddy boyfriend.
So put yourself in those guys' shoes. Like, I'm curious, why would a guy go on a show with all of that in the back of his mind?
Well, there's plenty of guys that just do it to do it.
For the clout and for the fame and
exactly
opportunity. Yeah. Right. For a free vacation.
Free vacation, a chance to be the next Bachelor. And,
that's
there's
true.
Plenty of reasons, but there's always going to be those guys on the show, and there's always going to be the guys that are actually looking for a life partner.
Yeah,
so.
And it does seem like there's at least 1 or 2 guys every season who is not a Bachelor fan and is not familiar with the show. Like their, sister or mom nominates them for the show, and they don't know a lot about the lead, and they don't study before, and they get filled in kind of by the other guys.
Yeah.
And I always feel the worst for those guys.
This has to be the heart. Like,
yeah.
How did no one tell you that this is who they're signing up for? Or before the show started, once they knew it was her, no one in their friend group or family group was like, hey, you need to check this girl out before you.
Yeah, that's true. I think it would be hard not to have some whiff or hint of this might not be the best. And in her defense, I feel defensive of her. Like, I do not think she's the villain of her story. I honestly think that Dakota has way more responsibility for
a ton of responsibility.
What's gone down in their relationship. He provokes her on purpose. They're not healthy together. Neither of them is super healthy. But, if you're in a toxic relationship and you can't seem to find your way out, and ABC comes to you and says, we want you to be the next Bachelorette, they're basically handing you a life raft, a lifeline. Like, let me pull you out. And not that ABC was purposely doing that.
And a big paycheck too, right? Just to be fair.
Yes, and a big paycheck.
Yeah.
And travel and meeting new people. But like, if I were really deeply unhappy in a relationship and I could not find my way out, and somebody was like, hey, you want to date 25 really good guys on a luxury vacation and get paid a bunch of money, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds like exactly what I need to get out of this situation. I think she used this opportunity as like a rehab or detox.
Yeah, and she said that, I think, on
she
the
has said
Mormon
that.
Wives show.
Yeah, she did say that she felt like this was her opportunity to get
this
away
is how you're
from
going to break
him.
the cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
But
dating 25 guys at the same time. Yeah, that's a really great way to get out of a toxic relationship.
I'm not condoning it. I can just see the thought process behind it.
Yeah.
If I were coaching her, I would be like, absolutely not. This is not your next right move. Right. You need to take a break.
Yes.
Go on a spiritual retreat.
Exactly.
Like, let's get you together. Let's get you really stable as a single person. And then you can go on The Bachelorette.
Right.
But having been in some hot mess relationships that were legitimately toxic and not being able to find the break, I would have done the same thing. I mean, especially at her age, she's 31. She's had been married very young and had babies and really never been single as an adult. Not really. So I think she was just taking whatever she could take.
Yeah.
Opportunity or a way to get out of her current situation.
Yeah, understandable. And to go back to Dakota, her baby daddy, he's a complete manipulator, douchebag. He's really one of the worst.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
Just intentionally toxic. Even the judge, after the video came out and gave him more custody, she only gets him on weekends and only gets their one son together, gets him on weekends and 1 day a week. The judge called their relationship very toxic. He said it's beyond the pale in a lot of ways, the toxicity. Violence has occurred both ways. So in that video, we only see, because he's recording it, and she's out of her mind, blackout drunk, doing heinous things, throwing bar stools that ricocheted off of him and hit her 5-year-old daughter and left a goose egg. And it's a bad situation. But I guarantee you, and the judge basically confirmed that. And that's what we're not going to see. We didn't get to hear her side of it. Because of all, as open as a parent she is, she's done this. She's kept her side of the story very private, which basically almost protecting him for some reason. And
well, that's classic. Lots of people in abusive relationships protect their abuser. And, women are often not believed in certain circumstances. Men do have a privilege that women don't have. And he's actually using, because plenty of women abuse men, by the way, but he's using that to his advantage of like, well, I'm the victim here. And it's funny because when you watch the video, obviously it's very clear that she is behaving abhorrently.
Right.
But I also, my intuition was like, he's pulled out this phone very intentionally, not to gather evidence, not because he's afraid.
Yeah.
He's pulled out the phone to have something to hold over her head. And, that he used it exactly how he intended when he took that camera out. He knew that he was going to use it against her, and he did in the most deliberate, manipulative way possible to ruin this big opportunity that came her way, because he cannot stand for her to move on, be happy. It's all control.
Yeah, it's blatantly obvious too. And then again, I guess he called the cops on the day after that TMZ report, which was a couple weeks ago. He called the cops on her saying that she broke the restraining order, which is another thing that happened out of that video that was released. Is there's a mutual restraining order for both of them to stay 100 feet away from each other. And he's saying that she broke it. And her people are saying look, once again, here it is the day after. Oh, look, they're going to release the season again. And he calls the cops the next day.
I hadn't heard that. Okay. Yeah.
And now just recently, another blip on, I don't know if blip is the right word, but on his reputation, he's been riding around with their 2-year-old on a motorcycle.
Which is insane.
And so he was just he had to be ordered to stop taking their 2-year-old on motorcycle rides. So this is the guy that has custody of their child. It's just a giant shit show.
It is a giant shit show. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I feel for both of them because, I don't think that people who act this way are bad people. They're both really fucking wounded and being driven by core, deep trauma. This kind of behavior doesn't come from nowhere. So I have a lot of compassion for the situation, but also, we live in an age now where society is more trauma informed than we ever have been. We have our finger on the pulse of mental health more than we ever have. There are resources today that have never been this high. To not wake up and get help in this day and age is I don't understand it. I don't understand, especially when everyone around them is very much saying, you two need to stay away from each other. You two need to go to therapy. You two need to get help. And they both have done some therapy on their own. They both have, but you have to be committed. You have to be committed to changing your behavior long term. And they just fall back. They're like magnets that they just crash into each other. And when they do, they fucking light everything on fire.
Right. Yeah. But try having a child together and have a restraining order against each other with joint custody. They literally have to have a third party drop their kids off at each other's houses.
Well, the good thing about being Mormon and living in Utah is you have a big extended family. There are plenty of grandparents. I think those kids are with grandparents probably more than anybody else. And also, even if you didn't have a community of family around you, you hire a babysitter, you hire somebody to take the kids and drop them off. There is it is ridiculous to be well, we co-parent, so we can't stay away from each other. Yes, you can.
Yeah. She's got Hulu, TikTok, ABC money now, so.
She had TikTok money before.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to it's hard to get behind the season in the same way for sure. But like when they pulled it, I think that's the other thing. I'm just dying to see it. I just want to know. And I actually I like her. Like, I think that she is one of the most honest, transparent people. And I think that's why people fell in love with her in the first place. She tells it like it is. Now, some of the time, it's crazy what's coming out of her mouth.
There's no filter.
There is no filter. But it does make her lovable because she's willing to tell on herself. She's not trying to, like, she's not someone who protects her own reputation.
Right.
And I think that was one of the things for me is, like, you know, she's been painted as this villain and as this abuser, or at least that's how Dakota was trying to paint her. And it backfired. It didn't work. But, like, for a while, everybody was up in arms about her.
It's worked more than you probably think. I mean, we're talking about our own opinions, but I'm sure if you go on any internet thread about The Bachelorette this season, I think when TMZ reported that they're going to release it sometime this month, people are still coming out after her for that video. And so it did
have an impact.
Yeah, a huge impact.
I just don't think it takes, to steal a phrase of yours, like, I just don't think it takes two brain cells to rub together to see who's actually the puppet and who's pulling the strings.
I agree. Sure.
But yeah, I mean, people love to throw people under the bus and whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're culpable too. We're throwing Dakota under the bus, but I feel like he deserves it.
Yeah. He does deserve it. And she deserves plenty of blame too.
Yeah.
It's for her, as far as the Bachelorette season goes, like I said, it's the guys that I do feel bad for some of them, especially the guy that made it to the end. And I think the one good thing that could come out of this season is that maybe the guy that won will be the next Bachelor and he can actually find
actual
love, not someone who's just going to go back to her baby daddy as soon as the season's over. So, like, it just feels like it was never really real for her. She wanted it to be. I don't doubt that she wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think she wanted it to be.
But she wasn't ready for that. No. That relationship had not come to a good enough closure. Yeah.
No.
So, but yeah, I do blame her, but you're right. ABC is more to blame for casting her in the first place. And
I'm not saying she's scot-free. I feel defensive of her because I feel like she's getting more... shade's not the right word, but she's getting more villainized than ABC or Dakota. Like you said, like, most of the heat has been on her. I think now the narrative might be shifting a little bit, but I was on her side back then. Like, I was like, why are people coming after her? This is not all her. Like,
no.
You know, this doesn't happen. It's not like she's being abusive. They're both being, I mean, it was just crazy to me that everybody was like, got their pitchforks out, you know, let's kill the beast, Taylor. Right. And it's like, excuse me, there's two people in this relationship. Yeah. And it's a dynamic thing.
And three, including the showrunner for ABC.
Yeah. And ABC for freaking making that decision. And I'm glad you brought up the showrunner thing because he just started in 2025. So his first season was Bachelor in Paradise, which I also had issue with.
His only season.
Yeah, his only season. Yeah, I guess that's right. His only season so far. So one season that I really did not like and a season that has been pulled and we don't know if we're going to get to see it or not. Hopefully we are.
I think we are.
Yeah, but yeah, his track record's not so good. And he's not from the Bachelor world. He came from other reality shows. And I do feel like whether it's him and ABC combined, whoever's pulling the strings behind the scenes, like, I feel like Bachelor has always, like, rode this line between the love story and the drama. And they suck people, they do capitalize on the drama by sucking people in. I mean, one of the things that, you know, is pretty funny about The Bachelor is that every preview makes it look like some real shit's gonna go down next episode. And then when you see it, you're like, that didn't even happen the way they cut all that together. So they definitely manipulate the audience and hook them into the next episode.
Yeah. But and seems like they're going to give away the ending most of the time.
Yeah, and they don't.
And they don't.
Yeah. And you know, when Chris Harrison was the host, he would always say the most dramatic season ever. And it became this joke because every season's the most dramatic season ever. And yeah, but it's like they've always used the drama to gain the audience. But I feel like the show was still a pretty pure as a romance show. And now it feels like it's just going in this direction where, like, let's just put the shit show out there and, you know, I guess hope nobody really cared about the romance part. Like, I don't know what are they even doing?
They just leaned into the drama. Like, it's a new showrunner, like we just said, and he leans into the drama. That's clearly his MO, and I hopefully because based on this, he gets fired and they get a new person already, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's just, I don't know.
It's not the show we fell in love with.
It's not the route to go down.
No.
Trash TV was in the 90s. Let's leave it there.
Let's leave Jerry Springer in the Jerry Springer days. We know how that turned out.
Yeah, there should be drama, and that is a big part of these shows is finding the drama.
But usually it's like one or two drama people.
Exactly.
Not the show is drama,
and not the person that's your main character is usually not the. I don't know if that's you watched the show way longer than I have. I've only watched it.
I've seen it since season 1, every episode.
Yeah, I'm only in it since we got together, so 4 years now. And
well, ABC did break tradition. So the first show was The Bachelor, and then the first Bachelorette was cast from the season of The Bachelor. And they've done that. You know, every Bachelor or Bachelorette has come from a previous season. This is the first time they've cast somebody that is not in the Bachelor world. And so they went outside of there for who knows what reason, I suspect to increase, to get a different market. Like Taylor Frankie Paul has a massive following. They wanted those people.
Yeah.
And they wanted those numbers. And I mean, they did it for a specific reason. I'm just guessing why, but you know, it wasn't a good decision from the day they did it. And hopefully the showrunner is like, oops, and either gets fired or behaves moving forward. Like, you know, don't fix something what's the saying? Don't fix something that's not broken.
Right.
But
I mean, do we know the numbers? Maybe the numbers have been going down. And
I don't know any of that
That
stuff.
could be why they changed showrunners in the first place and are changing direction in the first place. But either way, bad move. And it bit him in the ass. I guess we'll see. If this season comes out and it's the most watched season ever, then
it could be, because I mean, you know, I think one of the things that I don't necessarily love about my thought process, right, like, is that because we haven't gotten to watch it, I want to watch it even more, right? Like, you want what you can't have, and so it could boost it, but yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
and plus, just on ABC's end, they had a show scheduled for the next 8 to 12 weeks, and then now they had to scramble and find something else. So that alone is enough to piss the higher ups at Disney off.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's get rid of this guy. Let's get somebody in here who's committed to the romance.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. So we'll stay tuned. And I do think that no matter what, even though we know that we're not getting the happy ending, we know what the outcome is, I think it's going to be fruitful to talk about on the podcast, because I think there are going to be a lot of relationship dynamics. Like, she is not a healed person, and she is a wounded person, and wounded people date differently than healthy people. And I think there will be some really good talking points to learn from as we watch the season. Sure. So I think regardless of the fact that you and I aren't going to enjoy it as much as we normally do, I think it'll be good for our podcast. I think it'll be good for breaking it all down.
Yeah, it'll bring up plenty of issues within relationships.
Yeah. So now you guys are updated, and hopefully we'll have some juicy things to talk about as we watch this season together, whenever it may come out.
Right. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.